Shadows on the ceiling whisper where I should go. Snowflakes on the sill drawing quiet little lines, like they're writing out the thoughts I've tried to hide. And I'm breathing in the cold I used to fear, but somehow today it feels softer here. In this fading blue morning, I'm untying every knot inside. Let the silence keep unfolding till my heartbeat learns to glide. I'm still half awake, but I'm coffee in my hands, melting worries one by one. Footsteps in the hallway echo yesterday undone. Memories like snow landing lightly on my chest, but I'm learning how to hold them without distress. And the quiet feels like something I can trust. Even if the world still stirs up dust, in this fading blue morning, I'm untying every knot inside. Let the silence keep unfolding till my heartbeat learns to glide. I'm still half awake, but I'm warming in the fading, fading blue morning. Maybe I don't need to run, maybe slow is how I rise. Let the blue light paint my doubts into softer, clearer skies. In this fading blue morning, I'm untying every knot inside. Let the quiet keep restoring all the parts I used to hide. I'm still half awake, but I'm warming in this fading, fading blue morning. Cold air on my face as I open up the door. Another quiet morning I felt 1,000 times before. The pavement glows faintly under silver winter light, and somewhere deep inside me something shifts almost bright. I used to turn back when the world felt sharp, but today I feel a flicker in my heart. Cold air, warm resolve, I'm stepping out, letting doubts dissolve. Every breath's a spark, steady and small, but I feel it grow, I feel it grow. Cold air, warm resolve. My footprints in the frost trace, a version of myself, the one who always waited, left her courage on the shelf. But now the frozen sky feels less like I feel it rising as the cold winds blow. Cold air, warm resolve. I'm stepping out, letting doubts dissolve. Every breath a spark, steady and small. But I feel it grow, I feel it grow. Cold air, warm resolve. Even if my hands still tremble in the breeze, I'm learning that bravery can bloom with ease. It doesn't need to roar, it can whisper soft. Still it lifts me up, still it carries me up. Cold air, warm resolve. I'm stepping out, letting doubts dissolve. Every breath's a spark, steady and small. But I feel it grow, I feel it grow. Cold air, warm resolve. Cold air, warm resolve. Gray letters from dawn slip under my window frame. Words I never asked for, calling me by name. Clouds hang low like pages waiting to be read. And every thought I've buried rises softly from the bed. It's a quiet kind of truth I can't outrun, wrapped in morning fog before the day's begun. Gray letters from dawn, telling me to breathe and carry on. In the stillness I belong to the version of me that's strong. Even if the world feels drawn in muted tones at dawn. Steam curls from my cup like a message in the air. Hints of old emotions floating everywhere. I trace them with my eyes, letting all the shadows pass. And suddenly the weight feels softer than it had. The silence writes a line I've never seen. Something tender, something in between. Gray letters from dawn, telling me to breathe and carry on. In the stillness I belong to the version of me that's strong. Even if the world feels drawn in muted tones at dawn. Maybe these letters aren't warnings but guides, showing me the places where my fear still hides. In the calm I finally read them clear. They're whispers saying you'll be okay here. Gray letters from dawn, telling me to breathe and carry on. In the stillness I belong to the version of me that's strong. Even if the world feels drawn in muted tones at dawn. Snow drifts on the windowsill, painting shadows on the floor. The quiet hum of morning feels different than before. My sweater still remembers all the nights I couldn't sleep where every little worry settled in so deep. But now the world is frozen in a soft and muted blue, and something in the stillness feels a little new. I wrap my hands around the cup, the warmth against the chill, and suddenly the noise inside me slowly starts to still. It's such a tiny moment, but it breaks the winter haze. A sip of something simple pulling me through darker days. Snowdrift coffee warming my soul in a world so quiet I regain control. Just a single breath, just a single taste makes my heart move at a softer pace. Snowdrift coffee reminding me slow that even frozen mornings help me grow. Footprints in the hallway fade where old intentions walked. The past feels like a stranger I don't need to keep in mind. I watch the steam rise upward like the hopes I'd put away, drifting in the sunlight of an unexpectedly gentle day. The room is cold but tender, filled with fragile winter light, and in its muted silver I can see my inner fight. But today it doesn't scare me. Today it feels like truth, a quiet revelation in this morning's fragile proof. It's such a small beginning, but I feel it in my chest. A warmth I thought was missing, slowly waking from its rest. Snowdrift coffee warming my soul in a world so quiet I regain control. Just a single breath, just a single taste makes my heart move at a softer pace. Snowdrift coffee reminding me slow that even frozen mornings help me grow. Maybe healing looks like this, not a fire but a spark, not a sunrise blazing bright but a glow inside the dark. Maybe all I really need is a cup and space to feel, to melt the thoughts that froze in me and learn what's truly real. Snowdrift coffee warming my soul in a world so quiet I regain control. Let the silence stay, let the moment hold till the day unfolds its gold. Snowdrift coffee reminding me slow that even frozen mornings help me grow. In the snowdrift morning glow, I breathe, I sip, I start to know how little warmth can overflow. Barefoot in the quiet, feeling floorboards cold and thin. Morning creeps around me like it's hesitant to begin. The heater hums a lonely tune, the blanket's still undone. But something in this chilled out room says maybe I'm not numb. Yesterday felt heavy with the weight of things unsaid. Dreams I stuffed beneath the bed still whisper in my head. But now the muted daylight paints a softness on the walls, like it's trying to remind me that not every step is small. I breathe in slow, and suddenly the silence feels like space. A moment where I might be brave enough to face my pace. Barefoot in the quiet, searching for a spark inside it. In this half-lit frozen air, I find the courage hiding there. Barefoot in the quiet, I'm not ready, but I'll try it. Learning how to take my time till a little hope aligns. The mirror by the window shows a softer version now. Someone who survived the cold without knowing exactly how. My heartbeat echoes gently through the room's unsteady light, and every trembling thought feels just a little more upright. I pick up all the seconds that I dropped on darker days, arrange them on the table in a slow, intentional way. The floor is cold, but waking up has never felt so true. Maybe fragile isn't weakness, maybe fragile's breaking through. I close my eyes and quietly a warmth begins to rise. A courage I've been missing, slowly reaching toward the sky. Barefoot in the quiet, searching for a spark inside it. In this half-lit frozen air, I find the courage hiding there. Barefoot in the quiet, I'm not ready, but I'll try it. Learning how to take my time till a little hope aligns. No rush, no noise, no pressure, no choice. Just breathing in the morning cold and feeling pieces taking hold. The quiet is a fragile friend, but helps me stand again. Barefoot in the quiet, searching for a spark inside it. Let the morning leave me brave in the gentlest way it gave. Barefoot in the quiet, I'm not ready, but I'll try it. Every step on freezing ground feels like strength I finally found. Oh, barefoot and slow and light, learning courage in the quiet. Invisible sunrise hiding somewhere in the gray. The sky is dim and heavy, but it's promising the day. The frost upon the window casts a shimmer on the glass, reminding me that beauty even shows in moments that don't last. I pull my jacket tighter, though I'm still inside the room. The cold feels like a metaphor I haven't dared to bloom, but something warm is stirring underneath the winter gloom. A tiny quiet ember starting softly to resume. I used to think the light had to be bright for me to see, but now I feel a glow that's rising subtly in me. Invisible sunrise breaking through the clouds inside. Even when the world seems still, there's a warmth I'm learning to feel. Invisible sunrise lighting up the parts I hide. Soft and slow it starts to rise. In my quiet morning sky, shadows on the table move with gentle winter flow. A dance of muted colors painting places I don't show. I sip a cup of something warm to wake the foggy mind, and realize I'm kinder to myself than I designed. The room becomes a canvas where my fears begin to fade, as if the hidden sunlight knows exactly what I made. It doesn't burn or blind me, it doesn't shout or shine. It simply wraps around me, telling me I'll be just fine. I used to chase the spark that never stayed or never grew, but now the faintest glimmer feels enough to pull me through. Invisible sunrise breaking through the clouds inside. Even when the world seems still, there's a warmth I'm learning to feel. Invisible sunrise lighting up the parts I hide. Soft and slow it starts to rise. In my corners. You thought I locked the ache. It lives in quiet moments and grows when you believe that even hidden sunlight is warmth you still receive. Invisible sunrise breaking through the clouds inside. Let the morning keep its gray. I'll find my colors anyway. Invisible sunrise lighting up the parts I hide. Soft and slow it starts to rise in my quiet morning sky. Even if the sun won't show, inside I feel its glow. Warm hands, slow steps in the silver morning light. The air is thick and heavy, like it never said goodbye. My breath hangs in the doorway, like I thought I never voiced us. But somehow in the quiet, I begin to hear my choice. The floor is cold beneath me, but I move a little still, because even heavy mornings have a softer kind of will. I rub my palms together till the numbness starts to fade. A tiny spark of motion in the day that's yet to be made. It's barely more than nothing, but today that tone feels right. A fragile kind of bravery that's waking with the light. Warm hands, slow steps, I'm learning how to gently reset. Even when the air is cold, there's a quiet strength I hold. Warm hands, slow steps, I don't need to move fast yet. In this heavy winter dawn, every small step carries on. Gray coats on the chair, scattered traces of my week. Moments I avoided, things I didn't dare to speak. But now the room feels softer than the pressure in my mind. A whisper in the silence, saying take your time. I place my feet a little firmer on the winter ground. The stillness wraps around me like a slowly warming sound. The world outside is frozen, but inside begins to melt. A reassurance blooming that I've rarely ever felt. It's quiet and it's gentle, but I feel it through my chest. Each step a tiny promise that I'm doing what I can, my best. Warm hands, slow steps, I'm learning how to gently reset. Even when the air is cold, there's a quiet strength I hold. Warm hands, slow steps, I don't need to move fast yet. In this heavy winter dawn, every small step carries on. One breath, one thought, warm hands, slow steps, and the day quietly sets. The silence in the room is frozen like the glass. The stillness so unbroken it makes seconds fail to pass. My fingers tap the table like they're searching for a tune, a melody that might thaw the quiet far too soon. I turn the speaker on and let a whisper fill the space. It sounds so soft and subtle, it barely leaves a trace. But even in its faintness, something in me starts to breathe, as if the cold is loosening its hold enough to leave. It's only a small echo, but it finds me where I hide, and gently melts the silence I've been keeping deep inside. Melting the silence with a fragile kind of guidance. Softness floating in the air, making warmth out of despair. Melting the silence with a hesitant defiance. Tiny sounds that start to glow in a room so cold and slow. The walls begin to shimmer with the music's quiet flow. Every chord a drop of warmth in the winter afterglow. I wrap a blanket around me as the rhythm starts to seep into corners of my thoughts I try too hard to keep. My heartbeat finds a pattern in the soft electric hum, the kind that feels like healing you didn't know would come. The morning still is muted, but it carries something new. I notice something gentle, I'm relearning how to choose. It's barely even singing, just a pulse against the cold. But in that tiny motion, something tender takes a hold. Melting the silence with a fragile kind of guidance. Softness floating in the air, making warmth out of despair. Melting the silence with a hesitant defiance. Tiny sounds that start to glow in a room so cold and slow. It only takes a moment to shift the frozen tone. A note, a chord, a memory, a warmth you thought was gone. The silence doesn't vanish, but it changes shade and shape. A softer kind of quiet that feels like a safe place. Melting the silence with a fragile kind of guidance. Let the music gently rise till it fills my winter skies. Melting the silence with a tender kind reliance. Every sound a step to show how a heart begins to grow. Just a song, soft and small, but enough to warm it all. Frosted thoughts drifting slowly in the morning gray, like memories on windows that refuse to fade away. The world outside is muted with a watercolor blur, and every quiet second makes my inner feelings stir. I trace the outline of my worries with an unsteady hand. They shift like frozen patterns I don't always understand. But something in the haze feels like a place to start again, a moment to unravel but it sharpens what is real. A clarity emerging from the things I didn't feel. Frosted thoughts melting into quiet knots, untangling the fears I kept, waking gently from their death. Frosted thoughts turning into something soft in the blurry winter view. I'm finding what is true. The steam from my cup rises like a gentle guiding line, a path through clouded mornings that I claim as slowly mine. I breathe into the stillness where my heartbeat echoes low, sorting out the pieces I had nowhere else to go. Some doubts feel like icicles that cling a little tight, but even frozen worries start to shimmer in the light. I write a few notes down to catch the thoughts that slip away, a quiet conversation with a calmer side of day. In fragments and reflections, I'm beginning to connect the parts I always rush past, the feelings I neglect. Frosted thoughts melting into quiet knots, untangling the fears I kept, waking gently from their death. Frosted thoughts turning into something soft in the blurry winter view. I'm finding what is true. Not everything is clear, not every shadow falls away, but little sparks of meaning find their gentle place today. I'll hold them in the frost till they blossom into shape, and trust the morning's fog to give me needed space. Frosted thoughts melting into quiet knots, let the morning stay this slow till I learn which way to go. Frosted thoughts turning into something soft in the blurry winter view. I'm finding what is true. Through the frost I start to see what's quietly becoming me. Snow trails whisper softly on the untouched morning ground. Footsteps fade so quickly you can barely hear a sound. The world is wrapped in silver like a secret waiting still, a fragile kind of silence only winter mornings fill. I walk along the pathway where the night left gentle marks, echoes of a quiet world that glimmer in the dark. And though the sky is heavy with a pale and muted glow, the day begins in whispers, only snowy morning snow. The fleeting little patterns make me breathe a softer way, reminding me that beauty sometimes only lives a day. Whispering snow trails, fragile as forgotten tales, vanishing in morning's rise like a memory in disguise. Whispering snow trails, lead me where my calm prevails. In this quiet winter start, I hear the soft beats of my heart. tear, but in its subtle presence I feel anchored to the ground. A moment worth embracing, though it barely makes a sound. The cold against my cheeks becomes a comfort I can hold, a minor tender shiver in a world that feels controlled. I follow fading footprints as they scatter in the light, a path that slowly teaches me how mornings can be bright. The fleeting little stories left behind in snowy lines become a quiet guide to how the smallest hope aligns. Whispering snow trails, fragile as forgotten tales, vanishing in morning's rise like a memory in disguise. Whispering snow trails, lead me where my calm prevails. In this quiet winter start, I hear the soft beats of my heart. Soft and slow the morning grows, words unspoken gently flow. Footsteps fade, but in their place I find a quiet kind of grace. Whispering snow trails, fragile as forgotten tales. Let them fade, but let them show how the day begins to glow. Whispering snow trails, lead me where my calm prevails. In this quiet winter start, I hear the soft beats of my heart. Snow trails whisper, then they're gone, but their peace still lingers on.